Let's jump right into it, y'all. Today's title is The Pump Fake, the Epstein Files. Now, I hope you all didn't really believe that they were going to divulge who was on that Epstein client list. I hope you all didn't believe that. I didn't. I know that the information that they give you all has to be controlled information, meaning it can't be the full truth, because the full truth would free you. This is why they deal with a lot of illusions and narratives and propaganda, because the truth would actually free you. So I never thought they were going to let us know who was on that Epstein list ever. I never thought that. And it's just funny that you all thought they were going to do that. But they said they were going to do it. And so here we are.
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day.
Michael Schellenberger, Public News founder.
So, do you believe that Epstein only had videos of child pornography? You mean to tell me all those videos and all he had was downloaded videos of child pornography? So again, they're never going to tell you the truth, because they know that 99% of you all couldn't handle the truth. I remember that's a famous line from A Few Good Men, Jack Nicholson. And he says, I want the truth. He tells them, you can't handle the truth. And he tells them at the end of the day, even though you all hate me, you need people like me to defend this country. You actually want people like me to defend this country. But anyway, they'll never give you all the truth fully, because you all couldn't handle it. Because you all are not prepared to live in a world where you have to constantly question everything. I had a grown man tell me one time, he said, man, everything can't be a lie. I said, why can't it be? Why can't it be? Anyway, the public is not ready for the truth. And so I understand why they don't tell you all the truth. I do, because y'all couldn't handle it.
Michael, now the MAGA world, but not just MAGA world, I don't want to limit it to that. People seem unsatisfied by what they're hearing from the administration. But from what you've heard today, what are your remaining questions and what are you thinking?
Yeah, well, first of all, great to be with you, Laura, and thank you for continuing to cover this very important story. And I'm actually heartened by MAGA worlds continuing to hold the administration's feet to the fire. I think sometimes you would expect folks to sort of defer to the president, and that's just not happening. I think most of us who are on social media see that people are not satisfied with the answers from the administration, and they shouldn't be, because we had not just the Attorney General, but also the Director of the FBI and the Deputy Director of the FBI all say, that those two gentlemen, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, say last year and the year before, Kash Patel said that that FBI and DOJ wouldn't do anything under the Biden administration, that it was up to Republicans in Congress to do it, and that DOJ and FBI wouldn't do anything about it because of who was on the list. Dan Bongino then said that it was his opinion that a foreign intelligence agency was behind what is not just a pedophilia ring, but really a sex blackmail operation, or what is known in the intelligence community as a honeypot. He said that a couple of years ago, but that's not even a fringe view. People sort of suggest that this is sort of a conspiracy theory. Laura, I think it's important to remember there are left-wing journalists, right-wing journalists, and mainstream news reporters, including Miami Herald, who have all come to the same conclusion, that this was a sex blackmail operation aimed at entrapping powerful political people. Bill Gates, maybe the most famous but also politicians on camera with underage young women. And that's what it appears to be, the cameras in all the other rooms. So when Attorney General Bondi talks about tens of thousands of hours of video, I think it's understandable that the perception people had was that it was the videos of the blackmailing, not just of downloaded pornography.
Michael, thank you very much.
Join the movement. Yeah, and I mean, again, you know, that makes sense. It makes sense that if you're telling the public that we have all of this video, the assumption is that these are videos of the blackmailing. That was the assumption. To not come out and clarify, or at least say that maybe it's blackmail, maybe it's not, we don't know. Like, to not clarify what's on the video makes it seem like the Trump administration is being very dishonest. Very dishonest. You know, it's like you lie by omission. You just don't say something that you know is possibly true, because you want people, you know, to be excited about the new administration. And so you say, we're going to release the Epstein Files, the King Files, the John F. K. Files, or whoever. Anyway, yeah, so Dream Rare had a take, and I'm going to play this take real quick. This should be it right here.
The former labor secretary, Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alice Costa, he allegedly said that he did.
And let me say this. I watched the Epstein documentary on Netflix. And when I watched it, like, I didn't think it was that deep. I didn't. I mean, the documentary on Netflix didn't portray Epstein as this mastermind of, you know, a secret operative, honeypot scandals and all this kind of stuff, blackmailing rings. When I watched documentary, I was like, it's not really a big deal. Like, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. Not saying that it's not wrong, but on the global espionage scale, it what really was on that level based on documentary. Outside of the documentary, there was a lot more stuff added to who Jeffrey Epstein was and what he was actually doing. But let's continue.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alice Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there's a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the news?
Yeah, sure. If I
Now,
could,
could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
It's not unbelievable, Trump, because this Epstein thing has been a big deal for a few years now. Even to people believing that his death was, obviously, if you look into his death, it doesn't really make any sense how he died, but neither here nor there. But even his death, people believe he's still alive, he's not dead, or they killed. I don't know. It's all kind of conspiracy theories are surrounding his death. But this whole Epstein thing is a huge deal. And you don't just get to say, because something else is going on now, we don't get to talk about Epstein, when Epstein should have been talked about or settled years ago, with these so-called files. If I cheat on my wife and then we're in the middle of an argument and the house burns down, the house burning down doesn't get me off the hook for cheating on my wife. So the flood in Texas doesn't get you all off the hook for the Epstein files or what's going on. That's not how that works. You know, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Iran, floods in Texas, that don't get you off the hook for Jeffrey Epstein, because Jeffrey Epstein should have been handled and put to bed. So you don't get to just hide behind current events. by not, when you're supposed to be dealing with previous events. You got to go in order. You don't get to push it back to the wayside. No. So yes, people have the right to ask you about Jeffrey Epstein and what's on the tapes and is he an agent, etc. But let's continue.
Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
At a time like this, you mean a day after you met Netanyahu in the White House and said that you're going to give Ukraine more weapons, even though you campaigned on ending the war in Ukraine, not continuing to fund it? There's a lot to be said on this. People
Again, my thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war is propaganda. My thoughts on all the wars is propaganda. I don't believe them. I just don't. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but some of my spirit says it's not real. And I've been saying that. I've been saying it's not real. And I don't believe it. First, the Ukraine war was money laundering. Now that's gone away. Now it's no longer money laundering. Now Trump's going to get him some more money. We go back to October 7th with Israel. I just don't believe that Hamas was able to attack Israel without help from Israel. I don't believe that. Israel bragged about having the Iron Dome. You don't brag about having the Iron Dome and then your defenses are down enough for Hamas to know and attack. I just don't believe it. I don't believe any of this stuff because it's too convenient, and the truth is a lot harder to swallow than what they're feeding us. It's easy to believe that the Muslims want to eradicate the Jews. It's easy to believe that Putin wants to reclaim Ukraine. Like, that's easy to believe. But we all know that the truth is not easy to believe. It's not easy to digest. We know that the truth is a lot harder to deal with than what they're feeding us. So we know behind what we're being fed, the truth is a much tougher pill to swallow. So I don't believe any of it. But that's a brief side note. Let's just go back to Dream Rare.
are going to point out what Pam Bondi said before and after. A lot of people are showing clips of Kash Patel before he got into the FBI.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word, or whoever that guy is, as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. But how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress.
Sounds a lot different.
So again, you heard what he was saying. Getting Epstein's client list shouldn't be difficult. Think about Epstein's client list and the FBI. It shouldn't be difficult to get. So are you saying there's no client list? Are you saying he doesn't have any? Like what are we saying about the Epstein files if there's nothing to show us? That he's innocent then? If there's nothing on the files besides child pornography, then what you're saying is that everything else that people have said about it is false. He was just a regular guy that the most powerful people in the world wanted to hang around, but he's just a normal guy that was a child molester in multiple states, and that's it. Sex trafficker, that's it. Your basic run-of-the-mill sex trafficker that has a lot of elite friends. I just kind of hard to buy that. I don't know. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night.
Doesn't it? And I made this video a couple days before that Epstein file binder debacle thing happened. And I could have easily been eating crow because releasing this video titled "Why We're Probably Not Getting the Epstein Files" a couple days before they said they were going to give us the Epstein Files could have made me look really dumb. Instead, I was right. And if you watch the contents of that video and make the connections to the people that Trump is hiring, it's no surprise that they're not telling us much. Here's my detailed report for why I don't think we're ever really going to get to the bottom of the Epstein situation and why I don't think Pam Bondi is going to show us. Now, one of the dumbest talking points I hear among influencers is, well, if Trump was complicit in them, then the Democrats would have totally released it, which is stupid because everybody knows that the Epstein thing was bipartisan, so much so that even the news reported that Epstein had this painting in his house. So why would the Democratic Party possibly want to snitch on themselves? That's equivalent to saying, well, because Trump calls himself the father of the vaccine and rushed the vaccine, how come Democrats aren't clamoring to make him look bad and talk about things that aren't good with it? Because the Uniparty is essentially the entertainment wing of the military-industrial complex, as was once said, and it's more like a fake fight WWE to most of us than it is some authentic, well, the Democrats are really after Trump and Trump's really after the Democrats. You mean Trump, who gave Hillary Clinton a standing ovation, or that pardoned the handler of a foreign spy only for that foreign spy who stole American secrets to fly home on Trump's donor's jet? When you start peeling back the layers like this, none of this is a surprise. And I just want to say this real quick. Clay Travis said, anyone criticizing Dan Bongino for his work at the FBI on Epstein or any other case is a total moron. Guy gave up a high-paying job to bust his ass for the country. Legit, some of you have mush for brains. And the reason I want to bring this up is because this encompasses the problem with politics, not just Republican politics, obviously, but politics in general. I understand being a loyal friend and a loyal person. That's great in this world. But the way you could be honest and still be a loyal friend of Dan Bongino is you could say, I bet Dan Bongino's in over his head. I bet it's really hard. It's probably not up to him at the end of the day. Not like, anybody that does journalism and doesn't trust the government has mush for brains. Now you're just being a phony. And I've noticed with politics, all it takes to lobby some people, you would think it takes money or something special, but a lot of people, it's really just ego. You invite them to a few parties, you hang out with them, and now all of a sudden, because they're buddies in government, you have to trust the same deep state. Be a loyal friend, but don't be a pathological liar shaming people for questioning the government.
Says, you know.
And it's funny because the government gets questioned all the time. Like the government is always being questioned about everything. Both administrations always being questioned. But to say that somebody has to do something blindly, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with you saying that if you like this or don't do this or you do this, or you do, then you're this. I mean, it's just people are going to do what they want to do. I'm not going to condemn people for questioning the government or questioning Trump or questioning the administration or questioning Republicans or questioning conservatives or questioning anybody. I mean, you have right. People should be questioning. People should be questioning. But this whole Epstein thing is funny because I'm just like, okay, so all this investigative work that you all did and all you came up with was child pornography. Like, I don't know. It just seems like, what were you all looking at? Like what trails were you following? Like what leads were you following? Who are you interviewing? Like it just, I don't know. I don't know. Bill Gates lied about, spending time with Jeffrey Epstein. He lied about it. Bill Gates. So Jeffrey Epstein was important enough to have a portrait of Bill Gates, devil in a blue dress. So he's making he's leaving a message. Bill Clinton is devil in a blue dress, but has him in his house in New York. Big picture. So he's cool with the Clintons. He's cool with Bill Gates. So he's cool with powerful people. But all you found was child pornography. I don't know. I don't even see a guy like Epstein even having those videos when he can do it in real life. You know what I mean? Like, why would he even have all those videos? He can just do it in real life. Like, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset.
That's right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
Trump campaigned on Epstein transparency.
Like, what's near and dear to your heart? Like, that's just and Israel, defensive Israel. It's just like it's not real. It's just like a virtue signal. It's a virtue signal. It's no different than somebody saying Black Lives Matter. Like, it's just, you're not going to go over there and fight for Israel. You're not going to go over there and get on the front line and fight Iran for Israel. You're not going to do that. So what are you talking about? You're not going to, like, I don't know. It's just fake. It's just fake. It's phony. It's just phony.
Person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure that he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset.
That's right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
Trump campaigned on Epstein transparency, not an Epstein cover-up. He campaigned on ending the Ukraine war, not continuing it, sending more weapons, and essentially flipping his rhetoric on the war. And one thing that I've noticed about the only influencers, because there's not many, that are like, I'm so sick of the Epstein stuff, let's just keep it moving, they seem to have an allegiance to the same country that everybody thinks Epstein worked for. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Let me know what you guys think. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. And the next evolution of MAGA and conservative politics is when MAGA and conservatives challenge Trump like the politician that he's become, not slobber over him and idol worship him like he's Iron Man from the new Marvel movie. Because obviously, if you're a conservative, the Democrats are horrific and there's no reason to ever vote for them, Kamala, and Joe Biden. I agree. But it doesn't end there. If you think it ends there, you're just caught in the left-right paradigm. They're gonna play you in circles for decades. And while Trump is a funny and interesting character in politics, and I get why people like him, obviously, the straight-up religion, cultish behavior and hero worship of Trump is going to be the destruction of conservative politics in America. My favorite politician is Thomas Massie. He seems like the most ethical, honest, and called it like he saw it during the lockdowns. And for that, Trump has tried to kick him out of the party multiple times, along with AIPAC and Republican Jewish coalition, who are trying to oust him in his next election. I don't think this is a coincidence. Let me know what you think. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.
I think Dreamworld did a great breakdown of that. Please go follow Dream Rare. But let's be honest. I got one more video. Hold on. She talks where Pam Bondi talks about the video footage.
Night. They redo every year, every night. They redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively, the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
I encourage you all to go look up how Epstein took his life. You're going to be very interested to see how he took his life.
Epstein, I think of all the times I'll speak for myself. I never thought that I would be offering an apology to Jeffrey Epstein. I think of all the times I've maligned that guy, all the times I'm accused him of crimes, of blackmailing people, of trafficking children to powerful figures around the world on behalf of global intel services. And then I learned yesterday from Attorney General Pam Bondi that's totally untrue.
Yes, yeah.
The guy killed himself after 36 days in prison for no reason. He was a billionaire. Mm-hmm. He had no clients. He'd done nothing wrong other than get like naughty massages 20 years before. And the guy killed himself, another pointless death. And then his best friend, former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, doing 20 years in prison for no crime. There are no victims.
Yes, it's a victimless crime. They're obviously persecuted by the state.
Yes.
They're political prisoners, really. It's The Hague should come in and do an investigation, or we're watching one of the most systematic government cover-ups of all time.
I mean, again, and this is the fault of the Trump administration, because, why would you make all this fuss about the Epstein files and then say there's nothing there? I don't know. I just think that, you know, they're never going to tell you the truth because most people couldn't handle the truth. I was, you know, awakened in 2020 to how a lot of this stuff works. And I realized most of it is illusions. It's not real. But I never for one second thought they were going to release any Epstein files. Just like I said about King's files, they're not going to really tell you anything. They're not going to give you the truth because the truth would have people questioning everything. You couldn't run the country anymore. You would have too many people questioning everything. If they really said, here goes the truth, and just for 24 hours. You ever watch that movie, The Purge, where for 24 hours they just let people have at it? Imagine for 24 hours, they just told you the truth. Let's say it was once every 10 years or once every 20 years or 24 hours, you get unfiltered truth. You would lose society. So I understand why they don't do it. My thing is, you shouldn't have even brought Epstein up. You shouldn't even bring King up. Just don't even bring them up, because bringing them up stirs the hornet nest. Now, do I believe they found nothing? Of course not. But I also knew they weren't going to show us anything too. So again, I'm not mad at the Trump administration because they're going to do what politicians do. You know, this is, again, they have a country to run. These things are a lot more complex. These things are a lot more complex than we give them credit for. Not complex in the sense that it's complex in what they're doing, but the complexity comes with sharing the truth with the general public and how they're going to respond to it. And folks will go crazy. They get on TV tomorrow and say there's really aliens. People want to go nuts. So again, I understand, but I do think that us on this side should be holding Trump accountable, and the Republicans and conservatives. I think that if we truly want to not be a uniparty, that this side, the quote unquote right side, has to do things the right way. Because what I see now is America becoming a uniparty, and rather sooner than later. And when that happens, it's over, people. And, you know, so we have all this stuff going on, you know, all these wars and all this stuff going on, and it's all these events. And I'm telling you, all these events are going to lead us somewhere. We saw in 2020 how the entire world came together for one cause, to defeat the Peter pandemic. So we saw that every government was on the same page. Nobody was fighting. Every government was on the same page. The World Health Organization had authority. The UN had authority. The World Economic Forum had authority. CDC had all these government agencies had complete authority. FEMA had authority. All of these agencies had complete authority in 2020. So they gave you the playbook. So I don't care what they show you, how many wars they show you, how many fights, threats of nukes. I don't care what they show you. Everything is going to lead miraculously to a one world government and a one world leader.